All right, I'm Eric Guglas alongside with
Andrew James, man.
Casey Hecker.
And we are doing the update now for the snowstorm and historic nor'easter for Friday here. So we'll start off with Andrew here. Take a look at the headlines and the timing here.
Right now we're about 85% confidence rating, and this is pretty high compared to yesterday. We had a 60%. This definitely has a chance of being historic because of the amount of snow, obviously. The snowfall amounts are still in question at this time, but most of the Northeast could see probably over a foot of snow from this.
All right, and let's see if I can switch the slide here. All right, storm impacts will have seen significant snowfall across Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, most of New Hampshire, Vermont, and most of Maine. As we saw, we have a lot of winter storm watches and blizzard watches.
Up in the Caribou office region, there's mainly not much of a chance. They're going to have some snow, but not really much in the way of significance. It's more of a wind chill problem up there right now. So they have something else.
They have a bunch of wind chill warnings right now.
And we'll get to that action in a second. And high winds will likely create blizzard conditions across definitely eastern Mass and Rhode Island right now. We see those watches right now. In case the rest of us had discussed portions of New Hampshire seeing it, and even parts of Connecticut, actually.
I mean, the wind field, like, if you look at the wind field from where we're at right now and the forecast of where the winds are supposed to blow, frequent wind gusts are going over 35 miles an hour because of the fact that sustained winds are going to be up to 30 miles an hour, and down in southern New Hampshire especially, it's going to be significant enough, and we probably will meet criteria for a blizzard warning when they do upgrade to the warnings.
And going over that right now, start off with Connecticut, we'll go to a bigger scale here. We do have a winter storm watch in effect for all of Connecticut. This is Friday through Saturday, as the system really starts to impact late Thursday night and all the way through Saturday. Again, the watch will be upgraded as we go on to the next 24 hours or so. Going on the northeastern scale, see that that grayish shade there. Those are all winter storm watches in the Boston area and parts of Rhode Island. We do have blizzard watches that aren't really highlighted out on this map. So you can see the expanse of the system. Off in the west, we do have winter storm warnings there, and up in the north, we have wind chill warnings and wind chill advisories.
You also want to know that some of those wind chill advisories right here are covering that because they're higher priority.
Correct.
Because they're going on right now. So they may have an underlying winter storm watch in effect.
We have no advisories for winter weather at this time. So we'll go through, start snowing a little small and then go big here. This is for Connecticut. We are expecting in the quiet corner of the state, St. Towns and Windham counties to get the jackpot, as you just said.
Even some parts of central Hartford County can get up to 24, as much as 25, 26, if it all verifies.
And we're looking at parts of Middlesex County, northern New London, going into Litchfield, rest of Hartford, and New Haven County, seeing 18 to 24. And on the shoreline, we're judging to see that wintry mix line really play a factor there. So we'll keep that.
There's still a good chance for a foot on the shoreline.
Yes.
Just letting you know.
Pretty much every place we'll see
several feet of snow in the forecast right now.
Doppler radar right now, it's scanning pretty much the northeast dry. We see no snow, maybe a couple little noise effects right up in there in parts of northern New Hampshire. Not really too much to worry there.
I'm not watching.
And this is where it gets interesting. You notice two different systems here, both of which are going to play a role.
We got a clipper right here.
We have a clipper up for the northern parts of Illinois and the Great Lakes states. In the south here, we see all these convective rains, etc. That is the main system we're looking at there in Louisiana.
And we're looking at them to converge and phase.
And we will see called phasing, where both the streams come together and create a very, very large storm. We've seen this actually in 2011. So take a look at our surface sea level pressure. This is at 72 hours. You do notice that it's a bomb like yesterday. It hasn't really deviated far. Just to look at the expanse of it, it's looking pretty good so far. In 72 hours. In 96 hours, it's moving off the coast. So again, we take it back for 1 second there. It hasn't changed over the previous runs. You do see that it's cold.
Yeah, it's pretty consistent right now, and it's definitely something to think about because you look at those snowfall maps, and they're a little bit scary to see, like in general with the NAM and the Euro.
So yeah, the NAM is
NAM's our outlier.
The NAM's an outlier because it's freaking ridiculous. Snowfall totals around 90 inches of snow.
We are seeing close to 90 inches of snow there. As we go on to the snowfall total forecast, this is at a 10-to-1 ratio, meaning at 32 degrees, you'll have about 10 inches of snow per 1 inch of rain. And so you do notice that the expanse of the precipitation there is right on this line in southeastern New Hampshire near New Ipswich, of course, Casey's favorite. South Central. We have portions of Maine. They go into this Massachusetts area, east central Mass, closer to Boston.
Especially in general in Worcester County. Worcester County is essentially the biggest jackpot, along with Hillsborough County and Rockingham counties in New Hampshire, and locations such as Elliott, Maine, and Wells and such. It's like right here, especially the influence the most with these accumulations in Worcester County are going to be definitely the Worcester Hills, and over by Mount Wachusett ski area. That's where they're going to love this, definitely. And over in the Monadnock region, they'll probably have essentially locally higher amounts, mainly in the Worcester Hills and the Monadnock region.
And we go into Connecticut for a second, so you notice again that quiet corner we talked about up there, even places of Hartford County and Talon County up by Talon, Storrs, Yukon, right there in the campus. We are noticing that expanse of snow it will set up there. And it all depends where exactly the storm sets up and where that main axis of precipitation really falls into there.
And also with the influence of the back bands, when
Correct.
the low is actually essentially leaving the area.
This is a very large expansive system, so we will be seeing multiple moisture bands there. So this is the GFS sea level pressure and temperature at 54 hours. A little bit faster than the Euro here. We do see that it is pretty much right just south of Long Island, keeping the snow in there. And you notice by 66 hours, it really hasn't moved that much. And that's something that GFS has kind of done and given us more precipitation than the Euro actually in some portions. And the NAM have completely overdone this situation.
Looking at the pressure of 983 for
That's-
a winter storm, that is pretty significant.
We are talking potentially bombogenesis too. So let's go into blizzard preparations here because some areas, Connecticut, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, could see a blizzard. So in case you take that away for a
All
second.
right, flashlight and extra batteries, definitely going to need that essentially for the heavy wet snow over on the coastal regions because of the fact that the ratio is going to be a lot lower because of the density of the snow. It's going to be heavy. And also with the strong winds, no matter where you are in southern New England, you are going to experience some blustery winds and snow whipped around. And
Get that out of the way. Go ahead.
also with a battery-powered radio, that's the same thing. You want to be alerted if you need to, say, if there's evacuations or a shelter to stay in. But the thing is, it's going to be really hard for shelters and everything. Make sure you listen to your local and state emergency management. Listen
Yes.
to any news reports of any state of emergencies. They will have the best information for you.
And stay off the roads too. By no means should you be traveling in a potential blizzard. There's no need. The plows have to do their jobs. Emergency vehicles, it's
Absolutely.
a pain for people to move around. in
And
these
once the
conditions.
state of emergency is activated, which I guarantee you, Massachusetts will activate their state of emergency tomorrow. They will.
always
By
do.
tomorrow morning or
They always
tomorrow
do.
afternoon, Governor Deval Patrick will issue a state of emergency. Follow all issues, like any direction issued by the state and local emergency management.
I know as far as Connecticut, Malloy will probably activate the day of the storm. He'll be the more conscientious
That's usually
one.
how it is.
Right.
And I mean, New Hampshire, on the other hand, they have a really slow tendency, but we do have a new governor, so let's see how that goes.
Hopefully, it does.
Sand and salt. I mean, in a way, you do need that. That's going to be for like, say, cars. If you're going to be traveling anywhere and you get stuck, at least you get traction getting out of your car. Essential medications, canned food, and bottled water. General rule of thumb is for a power outage each day, you need at least 2 gallons of water per person per day of a power outage. So if you have a family of 4 and there's a power outage for one day, you're going to need at least 8 gallons of water just for essentials. They say a little more if you're going to be cooking on like propane stoves or anything like that. Canned food, that's obvious because
Clearly.
you don't have to physically cook it if you don't have a sufficient propane stove like some people do in the region. Sufficient heating oil, in a way, you do need that.
If
as
you have a
long as
generator.
if you have a generator running and it can run your furnace, that's something. Call your local heating oil company to make sure that it's full. Same with a propane. And generator, if you have a generator, if you're from southern New Hampshire, you probably have one because of the ice storm back in 2008. And then your winter survival kit for motor vehicles, that's essential if you're going to be traveling. But if there is a state of emergency, most of the time, traffic is going to be restricted to emergency vehicles only.
And, again, just stay off the roads in a situation like this. A lot of snow. The plows can't keep up with the 2 to 3 inch snowfall rate an hour. So just be very cautious of that. Stay off the roads for the duration of the storm. And have, basically all your necessities set to go here.